Okay, this is a conversation between Ken Western out of the Lawton County, Oklahoma FBI and myself after I had just been ransacked by the Florida SWAT team and the Florida FBI in search of Charles Dyer. This happened in August of 2011, this past summertime.
Locate him.
Well, so far your assistance has been off the chain because I did not know that this is how has to go down by lying and making threats to innocent people and getting them at gunpoint drawn when they walk out the front door. I mean, this is just these people. I've known this family for 30 years, and you're holding my boyfriend's brother on the side of the road with children. How long, Jim?
For an hour and a half.
For an hour and a half, making him lie to his own father. Why did you have to lie? What was the lie for, Jim? To get him to come out? To get him to walk outside. To get the main household member to walk outside the front door of this beautiful $10,000 a week home we're staying in right now in Florida. They lied, and he made his son, the feds made Jake, call and lie to his father and say that he had a flat tire. So him and his wife are getting up to come out to drive away to where this son is at on the side of the road, thinking he has a flat tire, and he's greeted with guns in his face. That's just to get the man to walk outside the house. Okay? That's how deceptive. This is not professionally being handled right. This is not how you guys are supposed to handle things. I thought you were the FBI, for Christ's sake. This is, and I was sitting out here earlier.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody has asked you, but we've had information that you have seen Charles Dyer within the last week. Is that true or false?
That is false. Okay, and I called Sheriff McKinley yesterday, and I tried to get a hold of you to let you guys know whoever is giving your information to you is not accurate. Okay, the reason why they're trying to point a finger at me is because I'm the only one, obviously, that has been openly, publicly supporting this guy, trying to help with the situation from a distance. Okay, Charles barely would even listen to me. His mother doesn't even listen to me. Nobody would, but I still try to do my little faxing and everything to try to help the situation the best that I'm able to do because I believe this guy's innocent. Okay, and I've seen the DNA evidence, and I know how the DA has lied. The whole thing is hijacked. I don't know what you've been involved in this whole thing with Rick Light for from the very beginning. It's a bunch of bullshit's what it is. Okay, and I know this. I know how the players, and I know how fucked up this situation can go. And I know, because these people tried to set my ass up a year ago. I know the game. And so I felt like I had a responsibility to step forward and help this guy, because nobody else has enough balls to do it. So I thought that if we put enough pressure through the system, through faxing things to these departments, the DA, the judge, and even the governor. I'm going to the governor with this, okay? This is going all the way up to the governor. And I'm going to try to get this woman to help because this is all unnecessary. This does not have to go like this.
Well, it is unnecessary, but Charles is a fugitive now, and we've got to try to locate him. Because and you may not believe this, but nobody wants to see Charles get hurt, or anybody.
He's not going to hurt anyone. Stop making him out to be a monster. Stop telling the press that he's armed and dangerous, and he's going to, he's like Timothy McVeigh. Who started the Timothy McVeigh bullshit? Saying he's part of a Timothy McVeigh bullshit.
Now, don't start saying that we're doing that. I've seen the media stuff. That's the media.
And that's partly your responsibility to help you. That's wrong, and you know it's wrong.
And we know that Charles is armed, that he has weapons with him.
It's his God-given right to be armed.
That is why there is the concern. And there is information that Charles has sent out and that you may not know about that says he may be pushed to violence.
Where does it say that? He wrote that. Where?
That is why the concern.
If somebody stole, if someone, the DHS took your girlfriend's daughter for 30-something days, this man has not been prosecuted. There's not even any goddamn evidence to tie him to any violent rape that he did. This whole thing is bullshit.
Well, the thing with his girlfriend's daughter, Manny, that has nothing to do with where we're at right now. She's had her daughter back. She's had her daughter back for 10 months.
I understand that, but that was only...
That has nothing to do with where we're at now.
But when you take someone when he's a man and he's innocent, and when you come into his property and you tell him that they're bringing deputies out there, and you better hand your daughter over, okay, what would you do? How would you feel?
No, see, that's what Charles has told you. That never happened. And there's more people, that never happened, because that's what Charles has been telling you had happened. Charles knew that his child was already in Tennessee when he started calling the sheriff and daring him to come out to his property. Charles was trying to pick a fight with the sheriff.
Well,
and obviously the sheriff and them never went out to that property.
I understand.
The sheriff didn't want any problems with that. The sheriff never went out there to accuse Charles or confront Charles or anything like that. Nobody did that.
I understand. I wasn't there, so I cannot really speak, okay? But all I know is that I've witnessed this from the very beginning. You know, not personally, I haven't been at the trials, but I've been there watching on the sidelines, and this whole thing is very messed up, and it's getting to a point now to where y'all are on a manhunt for some man, and he hasn't even been prosecuted of the crime he's being charged with. The district attorney is a liar, and they've lied to the jury about state evidence that's been suppressed that needs to be out there, and this man is innocent, and this is getting out of control. Okay, it's not.
Well, if you really believe in his innocence, then you know what? Then if somehow you do get a hold of him, or he gets a hold of you, then convince him to turn himself in, and try to help him that way.
I'm trying to help him pave a way. Hopefully you'll be able to find this message out there, if I'm even able to do it, to where this whole thing gets dropped. The governor needs to know what's going on in Stevens County. It's absolutely a circus out there. You know, this man's house was leveled to the ground a weekend before his trial, and they won't even give him a continuance. I mean, come on, he had nothing. He has nothing left. Nothing is left in this man's life. They've taken his family. They've shoved his girlfriend out. I mean, what do you expect out of a man that is innocent? What would you do? Put yourself in his place.
We know that he didn't start the fire. We know that. We know that. The person that did it's in custody. We know he had nothing to do with that.
Well, he had nothing to do with it either.
I'm sorry?
I don't believe that he's guilty of anything he's been charged with, and he's not even been proven guilty yet. And this is just out of control. And I'm very upset.
Right. But you know what? But you're right. I mean, he has to face the trial, though. I mean, he's already been acquitted in federal court.
They're bringing the weapon back up again. They're trying to say now he was in possession of I forget how they rechanged the wording a little bit now, and they've got another charge on the federal level for this stupid grenade launcher. That's how this whole thing started. It was a setup.
Debbie, there is no federal charge. There is no federal charge.
Well, then why are y'all involved? Why have you been involved in this from the very beginning?
Other than the warrant for him, his unlawful flight to avoid prosecution.
Well then, Mr. Western, why have you been involved with Rick Light, going to all the trials? Why have you, Mr. FBI agent, been involved in this from the very beginning, if there's not a federal...
Because there's things that you don't know about that have gone on in that courthouse by some individuals that pose the threat. And the reason I am involved is to make sure there is no problems and nothing happens. And I think I can't tell you about anything about Mr. Light. I don't know his motives. I don't know. All I can tell you is that he's a friend of Charles, and I think Charles respected.
Not anymore. I'm sure Charles is seeing the colors shining brighter than day. And Rick Light is a plant. He is a disinformation agent. I don't care what you tell me. I know the guy's true colors. That's why Rick Light has defamed me and tried to keep people from listening to what I have to say, because I know Rick Light's position in this. I'm not dumb.
Okay, well, the only thing I can tell you is that Charles, everything that I've seen, Charles is a good friend with Rick Light, and they're buddies.
They're not
buddies. When he came out of the first trial, the first thing he asked for was Rick Light, and when he saw Rick Light, he gave him a hug.
That's because Rick Light's good at his little job he's been doing, okay? And you were there at the trial.
He was the only one that showed up at the trial. Nobody else showed up. But here's what I would tell you, Debbie: come to the trial. Please.
I was going to come to the trial. I was going to come, and I was going to come to the first one, but the whole thing. Trust me, Rick Light is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, that's that. Rick Light, I know Rick Light.
I can't say anything. I don't know about his stuff. the only thing I can say is that Charles he had a chance to go back to court, and he decided to take off, and now he's a fugitive. And again, I'm gonna reiterate to you, nobody wants Charles to get hurt, nobody wants police officers to get hurt,
well,
nobody wants families to get hurt.
Then start telling people that he's not, who started the Timothy McVeigh bullshit? I mean, why are these police coming over here telling my family?
That was a media thing. I saw the same thing you're talking about, and I agree with you. That's media. That's not.
What do we smell? What do we smell in the future?
That's media. We can't control the media, Debbie. You know that.
Who controls the media then?
We can't control the media.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If it was my operation and I was a federal agent and this is my job and